research display area and calculate list layout. And last but not least, I want to show you how this application works. As the PowerPoint shows, I have in the search course area, I use the database helper to create a light database in Android system, which means every time you open this application, the database will automatically created. And you can look at this edit and text view. You must type the exactly right name and course ID. And after you click the search item, it will show the course information you type you want to search. If you want to calculate this course, please click the checkbox button, and if it's and click the right button. Every time you click the add course, the add course activity I said before will automatically insert a row into the calculate list. You see, this is different from the this is different from the search display area, because you can add the grade in the edit view. And after you choose all the course you want to calculate, you can edit your grades in here. Then once you want to calculate all the scores you have added, you can click the calculate items. At this time, the program will traverse all the table row in this table layout and find use the get child add method to find the credit text view and grades edit view, and then put the data into two different array lists, because because this kind of data is dynamically, so I have to add the array list, not the array. And if you want to delete the course you just added, you can click the delete items. And also, if you want to clear all the course you have added, you can click the clear items. Then all the courses will be deleted. So that's all. Thank you. I'm sorry, Chris, but I can't hear you. Yeah, you muted your voice.
Yes, yeah, muted. So any student who have questions regarding with his application or presentation? Okay, so you said you use a database, right?
Yes.
Is it embedded database into Android system?
Yes, it's embedded.
Okay, so did you figure out how to use, how did you figure out to use embedded database?
I create another Java class in database helper. It can use some method, like I can override some method like onCreate, and in this way can connect with the unwritable database, and then I insert this data into this database. So every time I want to find, like use the search button to find the columns I want to get. So so I will then connect to the unreadable database.
Okay, so your application, once the application first start, your application will have predefined courses, right?
Yes.
And what if you delete a course? then if you start your app again, if the deleted course will show or not?
Well, sure.
Will show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I just deleted in the calculate area. So I put the data in the error list.
Okay. So if you delete, so that means if you, well, even if you delete the course, you don't delete, it doesn't mean that you will delete the actual record in your database.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, I think it's great.
Thank
Because we may have some transferring students.
Yes.
And you are also technically transferred from Hubei University of Economics to AUM. So
Yes.
maybe it will be helpful for the other students as well, including you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's great. And any other question? You guys can unmute. Okay, so if you don't have question, then we'll move to Sylvia's presentation.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello everyone. Today I want to introduce my final project. It's called Lazy Cooking. And today I want introduce this application through four parts. So let's start with what is it? I'd like to show two similar applications with my application. First one is a Tasty, which have 8.3 million subscribers in the YouTube official account. And all recipes have more than 5,000 recipes in this website. And you can even find Chinese recipes in this website. And when you click the recipe you are interested with, it will show you the ingredients and the preparation. Also, some application will show you a video about how to make it. These two applications really help me out when I don't know what to eat for breakfast or have no idea about to make what to treat my friends on a party. So I think I should do an application based on these two applications. About the spotlights of my application, first, my application is simple. The interface is simple and clean. Today, people don't like a very fancy interface, but a neat interface will let them find what they want directly. So I use a grid view to categorize my recipes, and you can see in this interface. And here is the title of my application, come with the slogan and my logos. And here is 6 activity. You can click them to go to another activity. As I showed you before, I have classified the recipe into 6 categories, and so users can find what they want clearly.
Can you tell me what 6 categories are there? What are these? What are the 6 categories?
Oh, okay. And this is the 6th category: breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, drink, and other.
Drink and other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so others like snacks?
Like snacks. Or... Snacks.
Okay.
And when the user click one of the item of the 6th category, it will take them to this the corresponding activity, such as if you click the lunch item, it will show you the lunch recipes. And I use a list view to make this. Yeah. And when I first want to cook for myself, I don't find a very good recipe. So I have made many mistakes. And therefore, in my application, each recipe has a picture of it. And the ingredients and the preparations you need to do. And in order to storage those informations, I have created a class named the Breakfast, and I store the title, the picture, the ingredients, and the description of the recipe. And the biggest spotlight of my application is it's searchable. I add a web view to let users search more about the recipe they want in Tasty if they don't find a satisfied recipe in my application. And the user can click this "Want to see more" button, and it will take them to the website of Tasty, and they can search the keywords to get the recipe they want. Next, I want to talk about why I want to make this application. As my friends all know, I like to cook, so I think it's really a good way to relax. And when I know we should do an application for the final project, I decide to do something relative to cooking. And I want to share the good recipes and the healthy concept with others. So everyone can build a healthy body, especially during this special situation. And in this high-speed society, people may don't have much time to cook for themselves, but they do need to enjoy a good meal. So my application will help them find what they want to eat easily, so they don't have to spend much time to thinking about what to eat. Last, I hope everyone can cook for themselves or for their families. This is not only because they can enjoy a good meal, but it's a great time for them to get together and enjoy good times together. Last, I want to talk about the customer base of my application. My application mainly focuses on 4 types of people. First is a housewife, like my mother. She needs to prepare the food for the whole family, but sometimes she cannot decide what to do. So at this situation, my application will help her to decide what to do. She can just input the ingredients we have, and she can search the recipe she wants. Also, my application is very friendly to the beginners who never cooked before. Because the recipes I picked up are very easy to cook, so they will get to success easily, and so they can build confidence on cooking. I think it's a meaningful thing. And also my application is focused on people who living alone because they don't want to spend much time to cook for themselves. So they also eat some fast food, which is not healthy. And but I think they deserve a quick but delicious meal to treat themselves, especially after a weary day. Maybe they will not live alone after they learn how to cook. And last, And last, my application focused on people who are on diet. Those recipes I picked up are very healthy and tasty. So if you want to lose weight but unwilling to deprive the joy of food, you should try my application. A good meal is very important when you are losing weight. It will provide you the enough protein and help you gain a better effect when you work out. So that's all about my application. Thanks for watching. I hope you will like it.
Okay, well, that's great. Any student who want to ask questions?
Yes, I have a question. The way that you made the application, how do you store the recipes in the application?
Well, I just input all the information by myself. I don't get a good database or resource from the internet, so I just input them. You can search it through the web view I added in my application.
So can you show the PowerPoint slide which contains code?
Okay. I can run my application.
Okay, that's
can
great.
Can
Or
I
you can
share
show the
my
source
screen?
code. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please wait a minute. Which part do you want to see?
So he wonders how well you
Well,
input the information. Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
part, I think.
I create a list.
She added manually.
Yeah.
And as you can see, there's a line feed character which is /n.
Mm.
So with the tag, well, with the line feed character, web view can separate lines.
Mm.
So one thing that you have the strings. Do you have a strings.xml? Oh, it would be in values.
Okay.
Which part?
Oh, the strings.xml right above it.
Oh, okay.
It seems like she's not that familiar with the XML, so that is why she hard-coded in the Java file.
It's a really good app though. It's just some things that could be improved would be adding a database.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Adding strings.
Mm.
So if you see the last lecture video I posted on YouTube, it explains how to use XML, how to parse XML.
Okay.
If you use XML parser, then you don't need to hard code. You can just add some elements in the XML file. Then you can parse. You can read after read the XML. You can parse XML elements, and it can show each element to your screen. Well, but for now, you're good. I think you can, when you willing to upgrade your application, as Zach told, it's better to use XML rather than hard code.
Okay, thanks for your advice.
Okay, so any other student? If you have question, then you can type or you can unmute your microphone. All right, then let me ask to all students, how often you guys cook by yourself per day?
Every day.
Every day, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, how about the other students?
I cook at least once a day.
Once a day? So do you have any problem to make a choice? What do you want to cook?
Sometimes I do, especially during all this, just trying to make healthy choices.
Mm. What about male students? I believe female students are familiar with cooking, but how about the others? Male students. Aaron, do you cook?
Yes.
And what mostly do you cook?
Most pork, beef,
Pork, beef?
Pork,
and
beef,
some veggies. Yeah, that's
chicken.
the easiest one.
Yeah. So these days, I normally use grill in my backyard, and I grill chicken, and then I grill pork, and I grill beef. Almost only three meats. So, well, the main the main differences between Aaron's app and Sylvia's app is who are the audience, who are the target audience. So Aaron target very specific people who transport or who willing to transport. So the necessity of the app could be higher, but Sylvia's app has more audience. That means once it's exposed to their audience, it has high possibility to be used by the other people. So anyway, well, I think those two apps are great. So if Sylvia adds some more feature, and if Aaron adds some more features, and you should be able to publish your app on Amazon. But Aaron's app could be is commercialized sooner than Sylvia. But Sylvia, if you want to publish your app, I think because you want to get the less fee from others, you may have some copyright issue.
Mhm.
So it's better to make your distinctive recipe, okay? Or otherwise you have to find out how to reach it.
Amazon 吗？
Apply Amazon. 不知道为啥。
Can you say again?
Nothing.
Okay. So it seems like you have a question, right? Do you have any question?
I wonder. I don't know how to publish it at the Amazon. Maybe.
Amazon, to publish, there are two ways to publish Amazon. There are several marketplaces. First, Google Play Store and Amazon Store, Amazon App Store. To publish Google Store, you need to register as developer. And once you register as a developer, then you'll receive token and API information. How do you publish it? Okay. And once you once you register, then you are able to publish your app. But Amazon is slightly tricky. You need to sign up as a developer as well, just like Google, but it takes longer time. And also, you need to sign some more agreement with Amazon because you want to publish. Well, you also need to change. You need to make some changes if your app is commercial, such as if you want to have in-app payment, or if you want to sell the app not for free, then you have to link the payment by Amazon. That is slightly more complicated. And also there are several third-party app stores. And I believe there is an independent app store in China, right?
Yes.
So you have to, I didn't go deeply in chapter 10, but basically you need to register, you need to sign up as a developer, not for general users. Then you will get email or direction how to publish your app. That's the first step. And if you want to publish your app for free, you may have less restrictions. But if you want to make, if you want to earn money with your app, such as selling your app or in-app payment, you have to link your credit card information or bank account to the payment by Google or Amazon or third-party marketplace. Okay.
Okay.
Or another way to make money is having advertisement in your app. That's another way.
Mm.
Okay, so do you guys have any more question on their presentation or their app? No? Okay, well, does any instant, I have a question from Zach again. Does instant ramen count as cooking? Yes. I believe that is cooking. And there, well, if you see the, plastic bag of the ramen, any ramen, it shows directions how to cook. So you boil water for 5 minutes, and once the water boils, then you can put the ramen and soup at the same time. But that's just one of the method. There are a lot of different ways. I don't know if you have seen the movie Parasite. Have you guys watched the movie Parasite?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in the movie, there is I forgot that. Yeah, the noodle chapaguri. That is mixture of 2 different ramens. Okay, that means you don't need to follow the recommended way of cooking. You can make your own style. And also sometimes I fry steamed ramen with and I pour some other soup like curry or soup in the noodle plastic bag. It tastes totally different. Okay, so well, I believe that is cooking. Okay, and you can add beef if you want. All right, any other question? So, well, I believe those two apps are great. And if you have time during summer, I want you guys consider to publish your app. But if you think you have enough time to publish before the due date of the grading, and still you have chance to get extra scores, which will upgrade your letter grades, such as B2A or C2B or D2C, something like this. Even if you expect A, then your current status shows A, but you're welcome to publish your application onto the app stores. All right, well, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming here. I didn't expect most of students attending, but because there's these days work hours in your places could be varied, but I have most of students in this room, so I'm really happy. And I also wondered how you guys are doing. I'm doing great. I just wanted you guys to did great as well, just like me.
Yes, we are great.
So, any other question? Recommend? Okay, guys, and then I'm really happy to see you guys, and maybe yeah, we'll meet at Wednesday at 3:35 again.
Okay.
All right, and then
Yeah.
I hope you guys stay safe and healthy as usual. And I will, well, I forgot to record the video at the beginning, but actually I hit the button for recording while Aaron after Aaron began presentation. So I will post the recorded video on the Blackboard, and you can watch the video through the Blackboard.
Okay.
All right, okay, guys, and thank you for coming, and I will see you guys on Wednesday again.
Okay, see you, Dr. Brown.
See you.